This is the QUBT 1 month overview reading for the month of November 2025. It's currently November 3rd, 2025, 2:04 a.m. Eastern Time. QUBT at the time of this reading, $16.71, that's USD. And the shuffle video for the November reading for QUBT was created on October 23rd, 2025 at 8:32 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video playing for you here. So, guys, if you're new to SO meta-analysis, that's the system that we're utilizing to predict the market. It was developed over 26 years, guys, 27 almost now. Point is if you're not familiar with it, it's important to understand what this system was designed to do was predict the sequence of chart behavior and timing. Now, the timing is usually on point. In the case of a 1 month reading, usually on point to the day. But there may be cases where you need to give the timing plus or minus a day or two or three of wiggle room. And the reason for that is that these cards going left to right across the screen are what we call timeline cards in SO Meta. And in a 1 month reading, they each represent about 1 day of time. But not each card's energy will necessarily line up perfectly with 1 day of time. And for that reason, you sometimes need to give the timing plus or minus a wiggle room. That's why I don't recommend trading this information alone. Paper trade it, check it out, see how it is, because it's not as simple as you may think. If you're serious about trading this stuff, there's services you can get, live Discord trade alerts and such, which I'll show you how to get at the end of the video. Before we get into all of that, we'll also give you one of the best trades that we see for the month of November. But before we get into all of that, let's take a look at the October reading and see how we did. Now here we have a highest high on the what is that? The 7th? Excuse me, the 6th. And it looks like the highest high ended up being on the 3rd, so we missed it by 1 trading day. Although we came pretty close to it the following day at one point. We were off by 1 day, but pretty solid so far. We had a lowest low on the 13th. And it ended up being on the 10th and the 16th, which was a couple of days off. But we went from highest high to lowest low. And then we had another lowest low possibility on the 21st. Looks like it ended up being on the 22nd, 1 day off. That's followed by a high. And the fact that we didn't see the recovery coming back to the high there, it really makes me feel strongly that we're going to see a higher price level than the current price level. We're going to see a higher price level come November. Overall, not the best reading, but we did get the sequence of events pretty accurately. Anybody with the Discord, I'm sure they got their help that they needed. These chart drawings as well will give you expectations of entries and exits. We were a little early on the exit from a short here, or late or early depending on how you look on it. But either way, we touched that price level twice, and that would have been where we got out. We went lower, but I like to do the safe thing, which is take the first exit, use the second exit as a backup if the first doesn't work out. The best way to make money is to take it quickly, guys. Take your profits and run. Anyhow, let's get into the day by day. With the overall theme and chart behavior for November, we've got a decline through multiple support levels. It's nullified, though, which makes me think that we have a really sharp drop that's like with a big rebound. What I'm seeing at the beginning of the month, like the first 5 trading days or so of the month in all of the equity readings are looking like wild swings. So we probably have a sharp drop and then like a return to an important technical price level on a 1 year chart scale. That's a science card, and they'll be at a high or a peak. That goes in line pretty well with the Ace of Swords being the high significator, indicating that there's a resistance level at the high that we decline from and return to. We'll return to it at least once in the time frame of this reading. Which is the month of November. Now, behavior around the lowest low, we have a prominent peak within close time proximity to the low. We break through resistance, stay above it briefly, break back down through that price level shortly thereafter, creating a peak, and that's within close time proximity to the low. It's possible we also have a highest high within close proximity to the lowest low. It's a little tricky based on where this labradorite landed. As far as trades, we're looking to trade around 3 pokes through the same trend line and a sharp drop off of the 3rd poke, and then a rally along a diagonal trend line that ends with a fast sudden move higher and a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. Those are some of the main points of trades. There's a lot of other stuff as you go through this as far as trade advisement, and that's stuff that people on Discord can ask me about. So on the 3rd, we have a prominent move higher, full retracement. Looks like a rally that turns over with a fast sudden move higher and then a breakdown through the diagonal trend line. Full retracement. Into the 4th, we have a prominent trough and a sideways fluctuating rally preceded by a decline. So we're probably out of the trough, a sideways fluctuating rally preceding a decline into another trough on the 5th. Decline on the 5th into a trough early in the day, and a notable move to the upside out of that trough. On the 6th, a decline to revisit a support level we recently met. And then on the 7th, we have a prominent peak. Again, everything that we talk about in these 1 month readings is going to be on the scale of a 1 month chart with 1 day candlesticks unless otherwise specified. So a prominent peak on that scale there on the 7th at resistance. We break down from that resistance, and we should return to that resistance at least once on the 7th, if not the 7th, on like the 10th or the 11th. We have price swings on the 10th with a trough late in the day, and there's going to be some temptation to chase the decline into that trough, but avoid that temptation. There's a huge breakout move, at least temporary breakout move to the upside on the 11th, most likely taking us back to whatever the price level of that resistance from the 7th was. And it's a false breakout. We'll break out through momentarily, and then we'll break back down through that price level and another support level on the 11th. On the 12th, we have this full card move. Interesting. I got the full card on the Tesla reading on the 6th. Not too far away, really. Interesting. Well, in any case, there's another big move. So usually there's a gap of some kind when you see the full card, a gap, or like you'll get one of those days where there's a huge candlestick, or there's a really tiny candlestick and a huge wick. You know, things like that that are improbable. There'll be another prominent peak on the 12th, and then a decline from that peak into the 13th, increasing with the momentum moving forward in time. Another trough around the cusp of the 13th, 14th, and then equal amounts of bulls and bears, inflow and outflow on the 14th. We should see a pretty big move to the upside in the midst of that, taking us to a prominent peak. Sideways rotation on the 17th. On the 18th, we have a prominent move higher, full retracement back down. On the 19th, we're bumping along resistance sideways, maybe breaking through, bumping along resistance some more. There's an important technical price level on a multi-day scale highlighted around the cusp of the 19th, 20th. Probably have a brief peak within close time proximity to that price level, and then a breakdown through that, a breakdown through multiple support levels out of that peak. Sideways rotation on the 21st with possibly another peak as well. And then a lot of price change to the downside over the weekend there. On the 24th, we attempt to establish support, and then there's another prominent peak. Looks like we have a higher price level on the 25th, a prominent trough on the 25th as well, but a crest on the 25th that we sell off from down to and through support. We do a U-shaped reversal below that support and break back through it to the upside and reuse it as support. A prominent peak around the cusp of the 25th, 26th that most likely is from a breakout, creating a near overbought crest that will sell off from through multiple support levels into a trough at the end of the day on the 26th. And then likely a lot of price change to the upside over the holiday into the half day, morning of the half day of the 28th. Likely a prominent peak there, and then a period of volatility with a sharp drop that'll stand out in that period of volatility there on the 28th. As far as one of the best trades that I see, I feel pretty strongly about opening up. If you see a lowest low thus far here around the 4th, 5th, opening up a long position there and expecting to close that long position on the 7th at a highest high thus far. There's price swings in there, so I like the backup. If there isn't an opportunity on the 7th, there's likely to be an opportunity on the 11th or even more likely on the 12th. And rule of thumb with SO analysis, guys, never count on the backups. Only use a backup exit if you need to take the first good profit and run. Who cares if you leave stuff on the table? The idea is to make money, get in and out, make money, get in and out, make money, get in and out, make money. If you go for max gain, you're gonna fall into the rookie trap of worrying about max gain and being perfect on every trade, and that leads to losses, my friends, and mentality fights. Just take that money and run and don't look back. Look for the next one. But that's QUBT for November 2025 as far as the timing of the highs, and the lows, and all the other trades. You get that as part of the monthly access subscription on our website, Tarot for Traders. Hover over Order Now, click on Subscriptions. It gets you access to everything that Early Access has. The earliest access to any of our public posts, our day trade and swing trades for SPY and the SPY chart. But it also gets you the information that you just saw in this video for all of these crypto and ticker symbols, as well as the timing of the highs and the lows for each month to the day. And you can ask any questions you want about trades. $300 a month. It's a no-brainer, my friends. You make it back in one trade and some. Blessings to everybody, and thank you to everybody that goes ahead and does that. To support the channel, and blessings to all my angel investors following that resources rule of karma on the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders. I'll see you guys on the next one.